Are we seriously doing this again? Every offseason, people seem to forget how good Oregon is. And I get it, Dillon Gabriel is off to the NFL. But there's a new quarterback under center, and he's a former 5-star recruit. But if you're counting out Oregon in 2025, you're going to be wrong, again. This is one of the most balanced, physical, and underrated rosters in the entire country. And in this video, I'm going to show you why Dan Lanning's Ducks should be playoff favorites, not just contenders, and why their best football might still be ahead of them. My name is Zach, welcome to the Sports Corner at Choose Adventure Media, and let's get into it. Yes, Dillon Gabriel is now a Cleveland Brown after a Heisman finalist season in 2024. But this quarterback room isn't rebuilding, it's reloading. Dante Moore is expected to take over, and the narrative that he's some huge drop-off is wildly overstated. Moore has the tools, the system, and the weapons to succeed. He has way more tools as a passer than Dillon Gabriel had, and arguably more than Bo Nix had. And he had the added benefit of sitting behind and learning from one of the most experienced quarterbacks to ever play college football. He's had a full season in Will Stein's offense, and everything coming out of Eugene says his confidence and command have taken a big step forward since he was starting at UCLA in 2023. And behind him, the Ducks might have the deepest quarterback room in the entire country. Austin Novosad could start for a lot of teams. Luke Moga is a freak athlete and is starting to catch up as a passer as well. This isn't a one-man show. Oregon is built to sustain success at quarterback for years to come. Quick timeout, go ahead and please hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the video. It really helps out the channel, and there's a ton more college football content coming your way all season long. Let's get back into the video. Now let's talk about the offense outside of the quarterback position. The offensive line was the biggest point of concern coming into the offseason, and then Oregon fixed it. The Ducks brought in elite transfers in Isaiah World, Emmanuel Pregnon, and Alex Harkey, and now that unit looks like a strength again. The run game should remain strong with a solid running back room, led by transfer Mekhi Hughes and Noah Whittington with a young cast behind them. Tight end is a major asset too. Kenyon Sadiq is a matchup nightmare and athletic freak, and Jamari Johnson, the Louisville transfer, adds serious physicality and red zone value. The biggest question is wide receiver. With Evan Stewart out indefinitely due to injury, Oregon needs DeCorian Moore, one of the fastest true freshmen in the country, to step up fast. And if the spring game's any indication, he appears ready to do that. Veterans Gary Bryant Jr. and Malik Benson will be the leaders of the room. And guys like Jurion Dickey and Jeremiah McClellan have to break out if this passing attack is going to hit its ceiling. Now let's talk about the identity of this team, defense. Dan Lanning has quietly built one of the most complete defenses in the country. This is going to be a physically dominant, turnover-creating, quarterback-hunting unit. And it all starts with preseason All-American safety Dylan Thieneman, a transfer who's already being talked about as a first-round draft pick. He brings leadership, range, and a nose for the ball, and a lot of experience coming over from Purdue. On the edge, good luck blocking these guys. Matayo Uiagalelei and Tatum Tuioti are going to be nightmares. Both are on breakout watch, or maybe just blow-up watch, because they're already two of the most disruptive edge rushers in the country, and they're going to put the rest of the country on notice. At linebacker, Devin Jackson and Bryce Bocher give Oregon speed and instincts. If there's one question mark on this defense, it's going to be depth at the linebacker spot. I think they have the talent, but they need to prove that, and that's the only area where they still have something to prove. But the defensive line, absolutely loaded. You've got Amari Washington, an absolute athletic freak, Elijah Rushing, Terrence Green, Blake Purchase, and Bear Alexander. That's 5 amazing playmakers up front, and don't be surprised if there's 12 to 13 guys that rotate in and out of the defensive line lineup. The rotation is extremely deep, and they'll wear down opposing offensive lines. And then there's the secondary. This group's going to surprise people. It has more depth, more experience, and more raw talent than we've seen from Oregon in a long time. And in a loaded Big Ten, especially after getting shredded by Ohio State last year, that's going to matter more than ever. I think they finally have the guys to keep up with the talented Buckeyes wide receiver core. I know the internet loves to talk about how Oregon's never won a national title. But let's be real, college football is constantly evolving. Oregon has only been nationally relevant since the late 80s, when the program actually got real investment. Why does it matter what happened before the current players and coaches were even born? One team wins the title every year. That's it. That doesn't mean that the other 135 FBS teams failed. There aren't only 24 good players this century because there's only been 24 Heisman winners. And there dang sure aren't only 24 good teams this century because those are the only ones that won a national championship. Can we stop looking at college sports as a pass-fail thing? The truth is, Dan Lanning is still building. And every single year, he's taken another step forward. He's crushed the transfer portal and he's stacking elite recruiting classes. And he's doing it his own way. Not as a Kirby Smart disciple or copycat, but as a coach who gets the modern game. The narrative that Lanning can't win big games is tired and frankly bogus. Oregon went undefeated last year and beat Ohio State in the regular season and won the Big Ten championship game against Penn State. Then, they ran into the buzzsaw that was Ohio State after the Michigan game in the Rose Bowl. This year, they should learn from that and take another step forward, just like Lanning's done every year he's been in Eugene. So, is this a now or never year for the Ducks? Not even close. Sure, they'll lose some guys to the NFL after this season. Matayo Uiagalelei, maybe Dante Moore, but the roster is loaded with underclassmen thanks to elite recruiting from Dan Lanning, and he can just fill any holes through the transfer portal like he's proven year after year. The foundation has already been built. What we're watching now is the rise of a legitimate national power, not just a flash in the pan. When are people going to start giving Oregon the respect they deserve? Oregon might lose a game or two in the regular season this year. That's life in the Big Ten. They have to go on the road to Penn State, they have to go on the road to Iowa, which I think is an extremely tough game, but they've got the defense, the quarterback room, and the leadership to make the playoff and do damage once they're there. So while the rest of the country thinks the Ducks are overrated, just remember, this team isn't peaking yet. They're just getting started. Thank you for watching. This has been Zach with the Sports Corner at Choose Adventure Media, and I'll catch you in the next one.